after a marathon week of town halls, I hope each one of you understand how invested we are into the education, the socially emotional, and the safety precautions that Hebrew Academy is taking in order to open school. We have purchased over 50 flat screen TVs to be placed in all the classrooms, kindergarten through 12th grade, with 2 cameras and microphones, changing all the water fountains to touchless ones in the school, changing all of our procedures and safety with the cohorts and the zones in order to make our school as safe as possible. And as you heard from the principals, their educational understanding of how we need to change and adapt our schedule and our classes to virtual and in-person learning to adapt to the current situation of what's happening. But now I'm going to ask you to join me in safety. And with that, I want to share a Devar Torah. We speak about the Jewish army now, the IDF, as a powerful army that nations around the world fear. And it is true, and we are strong. But the first army of the Jewish people goes back to the time of Yoshua, when Yoshua took over from Moshe and the Jewish people were on their way to conquer Israel. And they get to the first town of Jericho, and miraculously, we surrounded the town and we blew the shofar, and the walls of Jericho fell down. They didn't have to lift a finger, and they miraculously won the battle. And the Jewish people were on high because everyone heard about that battle, and everyone heard, all the nations heard about what happened at Yam Suf. Everyone was fearful of the Jewish people. And they get to the next town, it's called Ha'ai. And Yoshua sends the messengers and they scout out the town. They say, you know what? It's a small little battle. 2,000-3,000 people. Send them over there. Easy win. We got this. Don't worry about it. So the Jewish people go, the 2,000 to 3,000 men, to the Battle of Ai, and they lose. And 36 lives are lost of the Jewish people at that moment. And the Pesukim, the verses in the Tanakh, are fascinating. Yoshua vayikra Yoshua simlotav. Yoshua rips his garments. Vayipol al panav arza. He falls to the ground and he cries out to Hashem, why did you bring us here? Why did you make us cross the Yarden? For what? So that we can all die? So all the nations can hear about how we lost to the battle of Ai? Why did you do that to us, God? Vayomer Hashem Yoshua. Kumlach. Lama za'ata nafal al panacha. Why are you falling on your face? Chata Yisrael. The Jewish people have sinned. V'gam avru et briti. That they, the Jewish people, they forgot my covenant. Asher tziveti otam v'gam lachu min acherem v'gam ganvu. You, the Jewish people, you stole, you desecrated, and you denied, and you took. V'gam samu bichleihem. You took things that didn't belong to you. Because when they went to the Battle of Jericho, the Jewish people were not allowed to touch any of the spoils. They weren't allowed to loot the city. The commentaries explain, maybe because it was Shabbat, maybe because it was their first battle, and it's like the Bechor, it's a Truma, it has to go to God. But whatever the case may be, we weren't allowed to touch the spoils. V'chatu Yisrael, the Jewish people sinned. Yeshua had no idea. Yeshua wasn't even at the battle. So Yeshua was trying to figure out what happened. And he goes around the town, they take a lottery, and they find out that, you know, who sinned? Who are these Jewish people who sinned? Achan. One person sinned. One person took items that they weren't supposed to. And they found it in his tent. And you can imagine Yeshua thinking back to the conversation with God, where God says to him, the Jewish people sinned, they took, they stole. And Yeshua says, what do you mean they? What do you mean the Jewish people? One person. But then Yeshua realizes, Kol Yisrael Arevim Zelazeh, that we are all dependent upon each other, that we are all interconnected to each other, that each one of us have a responsibility for the other in Klal Yisrael. Chatu Yisrael. Because it wasn't just one person sinned. I'm sure people saw what was happening and they didn't stop. And Yeshua, the leader of the army, wasn't even there. But Chatu Yisrael. The Jewish people have sinned. And because of one person not following the rules, the Jewish people suffered. And they built themselves back up, and they went back to the city. Right now, we're in a critical moment. School starts August 24th, and with our staggered in-person beginning, it is our sincere goal and desire to continue and bring all of our students and faculty back to campus in a safe way. But right now, we need your help. We need you, the community, to understand that if one person is not following the rules, if one person decides, I don't need to wear a mask, I don't need to follow the guidelines, I can go to a party, I can go to a get-together, I don't have to social distance, I already had it. Chatu Yisrael. It's as if all of us are involved in that decision. We're all in this together means that right now, we need to come together as a community and decide of taking a pledge of achrayut, a pledge of responsibility, that when we go out in public and we go to places, we wear the proper mask, that we follow the proper hygiene, and that we will not go into situations in which we do not belong and follow the guidelines. Because if all of us come together and say, a responsibility of Kol Yisrael Arevim Zelazeh, we will change the way the numbers are going in the city. We will change the percentages. And we as a community can ensure the safety of everyone involved. And once we all come together, the Chatu Yisrael, the one person who sins equals the Jewish people, together as a community, we will have the ability to have Hashem's complete protection. And we will come back to our school as safe as possible. And that is our sincere goal and our desire. And I encourage you to take that pledge, the pledge of achrayut, that I will wear a mask in public, and I will make sure to social distance, and I will make sure to follow all the hygienes that are set. Because if I do it, if each one of you do it, then we as a community can change the direction in which we are going and open up school in a safe way. And I very much look forward to welcoming all of you back to campus as soon as possible. Shabbat Shalom.